This Saturday night, September the 12th at 7 o'clock, we're going to have a rock porch session at Grove Park with Bill Whyte. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today with Bill. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
I'm doing great.
You got your DJ voice on there.
I've got my DJ voice on. We're ready to go. Uh, what the rock porch session is, these are first of the month, Friday night, Saturday night sessions that we have where we invite in special guests to perform for us. And this Saturday, we were very fortunate to have Bill Whyte coming in. Bill performs with the group Hits and Grins, who performed here in the village about a year ago. And he also tours with Linda Davis and Lang Scott. And he's also a great singer, songwriter, and best of all, he's a comedian. Bill, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking very forward to this, Larry, and the fact that you guys have a little outdoor venue is such a great thing, especially considering the times we're living through right now, where you can safely social distance folks and make them feel comfortable too, and yet they can still go out and get some great live music. So I'm certainly tickled to be part of your back porch sessions coming up this weekend, and I hope folks will bring their lawn chairs and come out and join us for sure.
Well, the last performance we had on August 1st, we had over 175 people there.
Wow.
So, and with you being there, I'm sure it's probably going to be more than that.
Well, if you need a laugh, and I think during these times you probably do, we're gonna make that happen for you this weekend for sure.
Bill is a member of the Country Music Broadcasters Hall of Fame since 2012. Is that not correct?
That's unbelievably correct. They just apparently, that's my theory, Larry, is if you do something long enough in your life that you love and have a passion for, and you have a little talent, and if you stick with it and don't give up on the talent, that they'll run out of people to put into a Hall of Fame sooner or later, and they'll stick you in there. So
well,
I feel very blessed to be in with a lot of my radio heroes that I grew up listening to. That's for sure.
And you grew up, I believe, in Missouri?
I did. Missouri's my home state. Little town called Montgomery City, Missouri, which is just off I-70, and went to high school in Ellsbury on the Mississippi River and over to college in Warrensburg at Central Missouri State University.
How long have you been doing this, Bill?
Long time, and I've always had a blended career, Larry. When I was 16, I got in my first little country band. When I was 18, I got into country radio, and that's all I've done the rest of my life since then. It got me out of the hay fields, out of factories, out of real jobs, and I was either doing both at the same time or I was doing one for a living. And sometimes it was music. For a long while, I was on the road playing in a band all over the country. I wound up in Cincinnati, Ohio, and a kid that I started with in my first radio station, which was in a one-bedroom trailer in a cow pasture in Missouri. Lo and behold, he was the boss at the big country radio station in Cincinnati, and he brought me in part-time doing an oldies show, and one thing led to another, and I wound up taking over the morning show, and then went to Milwaukee and Indianapolis and Nashville, and just had a really, really great major market career that helped me win a CMA award one year and then go into the Hall of Fame in 2012. And those are the kind of things you can't ever predict. You don't even think about those things, Larry. They just kind of happen. And then you get to look back and go, how did that happen? Exactly. But I'm just blessed. I'll say that. Very blessed.
Well, for those, I'll give you a little plug on this. Bill has a website called billwhitecomedy.com, and he has a blog. And Bill blogs, I guess, just about every day.
Monday through Friday, yeah.
And he tells some interesting stories about things that are going on in the country music world and things that he's doing and things he's involved with. And so if you get a chance, check out that website, and you can follow Bill on that website. Bill, tell us a little bit about your experiences with Hits and Grins and Linda Davis and Lang Scott.
Well, again, just talk about blessings and funny how life works, Larry. Being a longtime morning radio guy, that's really how I met Linda Davis for the first time. She was an artist. Linda was a major label artist for a lot of years, several different labels. And anytime a record label signs a new act, one of the first things they do is they put those acts in a car and they travel all over the country and they go to the country radio stations, and usually they'll come in and do the morning show. So I think I interviewed Linda probably at maybe 3 different radio stations that I had worked at as an artist, and I was always a fan. And then when I went to Nashville to do radio, one of the first things they asked me to do was help host I think it was the Jerry Lewis Telethon one year, and I did a segment, and they were doing it on television, of course. And my segment, Linda Davis was my guest, so I went backstage and reintroduced myself to her, and I said, "Hey, I'm in Nashville now. We ought to write sometime." And she was silly enough to say yes. So we started writing together. Then I met her husband, Lang, and then we played a show one night just that got kind of put together, and all of us, I think, could feel the chemistry. Those two are so great as legitimate artists, but I was able to add humor to what they were doing and get some laughs from the audience. So we became a show called Evening in the Round, and gosh, we've toured for 10 years or 11 years all over the country. And then Hits and Grins is another songwriting trio that was there at your theater one year, which was great, with Steve Dean, who's written a bunch of #1 songs, and Victoria Veneer, who's a great female vocalist. And it's 2 completely different kind of shows. So normally I would be extremely busy on the road right now between Hits and Grins and Evening in the Round. But as I'm sure that Larry, musicians and singers and songwriters are looking for places to play these days because so many of the shows have been canceled. This was going to be my busiest year ever, and almost every show has been wiped out, because of it. Hits and Grins, as a matter of fact, we were supposed to start a 22-city run in October, all in theaters all over the country, California, Wyoming, Arizona, you name it. All of that got canceled, because of COVID. So I'm not getting to play with those trios as much as I would like to right now, but we're hoping the world's going to right itself, and we'll be doing that again, I hope.
Well, you're in Nashville, and of course, you're right in the middle of the Nashville scene. How is the country music world dealing with the COVID?
Struggling, I think that's honest. I think everybody that's a musician or a songwriter, they're trying to find ways to do what they do and monetize it. And it's very, very difficult right now. As a songwriter, I've never written so much in my life, because I'm not doing shows or traveling as much. So I'm writing songs every day with somebody or a couple of somebodies, but 95% of it is just like what we're doing right now, Larry. It's on a computer and not face to face because of virus concerns. So I've taken up an awful lot of my downtime by writing songs every single day and adding to my catalog. I have a publishing deal with a couple of record labels in the house. One's Bluegrass, one's Americana, and then Daywind is the name of the company that owns both of those. And they're a huge gospel entity, Southern gospel. So a lot of my writing is kind of turned that way because they have artists that can record those songs. So that's where a lot of my time has gone. But I actually played a show last night in Tennessee, and I played a show with Lang and Linda in Georgia. And I have your show coming up. And then we actually found out the Frank Brown Songwriters Festival, they're going to have half of a festival this year instead of 2 weeks of 1 week. And we were invited to go down and play that in November with Hits and Grins. So we're looking forward to that.
Well, I'm glad you're staying busy because I know it's difficult. We're struggling here as well, trying to find things for people to do, and that's what the Lifelong Learning Institute does, is try to promote learning. And we've gone to more virtual learning than in-face learning, and it's a challenge. I mean, it's hard to get people to participate. And when you're in an older population, as we are in Hot Springs Village, I think probably these people are a little bit more concerned maybe than out in the rest of the world. I know a lot of our people are just hunkered down for the duration, and then again there are people who are getting out and about, but they're starting to get a little stir crazy around here. So they're wanting more opportunities to go out and learn, see shows, and that's why we're tickled to death to have you coming in for this show. And having heard you, I think this will be the 3rd time I've heard you, because I did record you and meet you actually at Jim Pollock's ranch when you did a little show up there with Steve.
Steve Dean, yeah.
With a lot of fun up there, and that's the first time I really got to meet you. And then that prompted me to want to bring you in, the three of you in for a show. And I thought it was a fantastic show and people just loved it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, let me give you a plug while Larry did a very cool thing, and I think you can still find it on YouTube. There's a songwriter who's from Arkansas named Wood Newton, who's written some big hits. And Wood had done this very same house concert that you were just referring to there, Larry. And Larry was there the night Wood was there and sang a song that the two of us wrote called "If You're Not Careful, My Wife's Going to Leave You." And then when I was there, I sang the same song. Well, Larry filmed both episodes and then did this very cool little mosh of the two of us singing the song together. So if you need a laugh, just kind of type that in, Bill Whyte or Wood Newton. If you're not careful, my wife's going to leave you, and you can see that. And I promise you, I'm going to do that song when I come and do your show this weekend.
and believe it or not, they sang the same key. I've done these mashups when they were sung in different keys, and it's
Sure,
challenge.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm experiencing the same. I was just going to say I'm experiencing the same thing that you were mentioning there too, Larry, as far as the folks that live there in the village, which is such a beautiful place. But last night at the little venue I played, it was a little coffee house, really cool place. But it was a mix of people that wore masks and the people that did not wear masks. And you can just tell the confusion that's going on about what to do, what not to do. And I think you're right, Larry. I think we're at a point now where the quarantine has gone on for so long that folks are just looking for a way to get out and find some kind of normalcy again in their lives. And hopefully we're going to be able to do that for you a little bit Saturday night.
Who are some of the artists who have recorded your songs?
Well, Joe Nichols, who I think might be an Arkansas native. I can't remember. Joe Nichols recorded a song that was the title track on one of his albums. Cletus T. Judd, if you know Cletus is a funny guy who does mostly parody songs, but he recorded 3 original comedy songs of mine. One of those being "I'm Going Ugly Early Tonight," which has been really good to me, and we'll do that Saturday night too. Ray Stevens recorded a song that I helped write with a friend down in Gulf Shores, Alabama, Brent Burns, called "Retired," which is really appropriate for your audience. So we'll be doing that song for sure on Saturday night. I've had a lot of bluegrass cuts, including several by Darren and Brooke Aldrich, and Darren, not Darren, but his wife Brooke, has been named the International Bluegrass Music Female Vocalist of the Year for the last 3 years in a row, and they've recorded several of my songs. And then, we mentioned Linda Davis. Well, her family, Linda Lang, and then their daughter Hillary, who's the girl singer in Lady Antebellum, and their youngest daughter, Riley Jean, did a contemporary Christian album a few years ago. I have a song on there that we wrote about Lang's father, Hillary's grandfather, who died of cancer, called "Safe Haven." They put that on the album, and the album won 2 Grammy Awards that year. So I'm probably more proud of that song than anything I've written, for sure. So I've been blessed to have several people record the songs.
Well, Bill, I really appreciate you taking the time this morning to visit with us. And we really look forward to having you in here Saturday night. And if people have never heard you sing or don't know exactly who Bill Whyte is, you need to come out and find out who Bill Whyte is, because he is a fantastic entertainer and he's a genuine guy. I mean, he is just really a first class, down to earth, tell it like it is type person, and those are the type of people we like.
Well, that's my Midwest raising, I think, more than anything. Larry, good set of parents that you had to behave yourself or else. One of those kind of things. So I'll definitely be able to relate to y'all, when I come down there, and I think you'll have a great time. And we'll tell some great stories behind some of the songs that we talked about here, and certainly we're going to have some laughs on Saturday night.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Larry.